Tango seems to be something that envelops people once they get into it. It's like the mob. It's like the mafia. You never get out. And it's a select group. It's an interesting dance form and industry to me from a lot of different perspectives. For one thing, it's got a huge global footprint. There's lots of, it's known all over the world, but it's a pretty intense learning curve to get into it. The technique is really, really precise. So yeah, I've got tons of questions and hopefully you got tons of answers. Eleonora,
I hope so.
Tell us, where are you from and how did you first get into dancing?
So I'm originally from Uzbekistan, so the city in Tashkent, and I was born there. I used to live there till 22. So when I was like about 6 years old, so my mom, she decided that it's time to do something with me because I was super duper hyperactive, like a kid. And she took me to ballet school. But, when you're 6 years old, it's too early to go to ballet. And the director, we met director, and he said, "Oh, so cute, girl. So come a little bit later." So she's too young. So in 4 years, so come. So my mom, she said, "Oh my goodness, what I will do with you?" So she decided to bring me to ballroom dance. So I used to dance ballroom at the beginning. So from 6 to 14, I used to dance ballroom, and I was thinking that I will continue professionally in ballroom. So, but then I switched to ballet when I was 13, and 2 years I was dancing ballroom and ballet at the same time. And then I had a problem with my legs. So, and my doctor said, "So Ella, now it's time to choose, because this is two different kind of dance and you cannot dance both professionally. So maybe you do professional ballet, but you dance ballroom, as a hobby, or opposite. So you just do ballet as a hobby." Because I was crazy about ballroom. Ballroom dance was everything for me, everything. And yeah, there was I thought it's the end for me, the end. And actually, no, that was not so bad. 1 year I was crying every night, maybe, that I stopped dancing ballroom. But then it's, things were getting better. And, I used to dance ballet professional. When I finished ballet school, I went to theater, and I danced there till I switched to tango. So yeah, tango I met when I was 19. It is a short story. Yes, then you will have more questions and with a little more detail. So yes, when I was 19, that was tango show up in my life it was unexpected. And at the beginning, I didn't plan, to do anything professional in tango, because come on, I'm a ballet dancer. I have a job. I'm dancing in Bolshoi theater in Uzbekistan. So why should I dance tango? Especially I don't know tango. Yes, for that moment. And once I was walking on the street. I saw a banner, huge big banner. So okay, so people new tango groups. I said interesting. So I should try. Of course, when you are dancing ballet and you're a professional ballerina, you are busy, and everything that you want to try is just blah blah blah, to be honest, because you don't have time. And I was working with kids too. So and I actually next day when I passed and I wanted to take a picture of the phone, to call, maybe to try it. So it wasn't banner there. It was in my dream, I was no way. So what's wrong? What's happened? So that's not possible that they took that banner right on the next day. So, but who knows? You never know. Then in a few weeks, probably later, my director in a school where I was teaching kids ballet, he came to me. He said Eleonora, so I have to talk to her. So what's happened? So he said why don't you teach Argentine Tango? Can you imagine? So I was I don't know Argentine Tango. he said like, hey, don't worry. I said like, how? Like, it's not professional when you don't know something, like, and you are teaching this. It's like, hey, I will give you DVD, CD. So, you know, for that time, YouTube wasn't so popular. And he said, you will learn and then you will teach. I said like, no, come on. It's unprofessional. He's like, okay, I'll give you a few days to think about it. So a few days passed. He gave me a call. He said like, hey, what did you decide? I said like, let's do it. So he gave me CD, DVD. I was watching videos. I learned some steps. Actually, that was interesting for me. You know, of course, I didn't pay attention for technique for that moment. You know, when you are learning something very quick and you think that it's just a hobby for you, you know, you're not going to the details that we are searching it now. So I learned few steps, so ganchos, jumps, some, and I don't know, cintadas, crosses, you know, that was just basic that people can have fun with, you know. And I had actually, maybe you will not believe, but I had huge group. It was maybe 40 people for Uzbekistan. That's huge group, believe me. So because in Uzbekistan more people are Muslim, you know, so and not like everyone wants to dance so close. And of course, for that time we didn't dance close. We were dancing in open embrace. So, and we were, what I was teaching is just, it was just the sequences, you know, like a choreography. It wasn't improvisation, absolutely. So that was interesting. And then one, now he's my friend, but for the moment, so when, he was my student. So he came to my group. He was studying with me, like he took maybe 10 group classes or maybe a little bit more. I don't, then he took a private, you know, it's like, I said, like, wow, it's so cool. So, you know, like, and he asked me, what are you doing here? I said like, what do you mean? He said, I'm honest with you, okay, guys? I'm very honest with you. So I said like, okay, I'm teaching tango. He's like, hey, bullshit, it's not tango. So let's come with me. I will teach you tango because I invited teacher from St. Petersburg. He will come next week and there will be like a, you know, intensive course tango classes. I was like, okay, no. So because it was a little bit, you know, like I felt a little bit uncomfortable that that person talked to me like this, you know, that bullshit. So I was like, okay. So then he gave me a call actually in a week and it's like, so what did you say? Will you come? I said, look, no, I will not. So, okay, so it's your decision. So, but I was dancing ballet, so I wasn't bored, you know, and I was continued teaching tango classes. For that moment, I already knew, you know, like all steps. So, and in a few more months, he invited him again. And he gave me a call and asked me again, Eleanor, would you like to join the classes? And because it was summertime, he asked me, come. I said like, oh, okay, let's do it. So I'm free. I'm doing nothing, so I'll join. And when I came to that class, they were learning ochos. Come on, I know everything, you know, and especially when you're a teenager, your ego is huge. So, and especially for me, because I was dancing ballet professional and I used to dance ballroom on my background, you know, and now I'm dancing tango. I'm teaching tango for that moment, you know. For me, that was like, wow. But for now, I'm like looking backwards and it's like, oh my goodness. That was funny moment. So he was teaching ochos. I remember it's very, 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 very clear. And I already started to do some embellishments for the moment. Maybe I was searching myself already, you know. And he came to me and he said, Eleonora, so don't do so much embellishments. It's too sweet. I was like, okay. So he turned back, he walked away, and it's like, why not? So that was why not. And my way started, I think, in that class. Why not? So now each time there is many things also happened after that class, how I moved to Moscow and so on. But that class was very important for me because I said to myself that I believe what I do in what I do, and I really do like it, and I'm enjoyed of this. And other people also like this. Why not? There is always why not? Why not to try something new? Why not to break some rules? Why not to mix something if you are feeling, yourself wonderful? Why not? Any questions?
Lots of them, tons of them. So I want to go back to early on, because I'm fascinated by the I'll call it Eastern Bloc. I don't know if that's a correct term, but the approach to dance in that part of the world, whether it's whether you're talking about Russia or you're talking about Central Asia, it's so different, and the perspective on it is so different. For one thing, because there actually is a history of it being a career. In the States, if you tell your mom at a younger age, this is what I want to do, I want to be a dancer, it's hard for someone in the States to kind of conceptualize that as, okay, this is potentially a career, a livelihood for my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was fascinated with how that works. And you also mentioned, of course, that Uzbekistan is predominantly, I think, Muslim. Did you grow up in a Muslim household, or were you in a...
I really respect that culture, and I'm very happy that I was born there, because for me, Russian culture is absolutely different. So even if my family, they are Russian, they're Russian, my mother and father, they still live in Uzbekistan. But I don't know, we are thinking like Uzbek people, with a lot of respect to other people. Of course, you can find maybe in Russia also, more or less same, but I don't know. So it was absolutely different for me. So I never wanted to live in Russia. I didn't feel that Russia is my country where I can stay like forever, where I felt myself wonderful. For me, the weather is very important. I know it's very important. Uzbekistan is, warm country, beautiful, full of happiness. It was for me, especially I grew up there and I have a lot of friends there. We still friends, very close friends, and I miss them so much. And I'm very sad about this thing that because of the culture, many people don't allow themselves to be open to something different. I'm talking about dance, but the salsa is very popular there.
Yeah, there's a salsa event, I think, in Uzbekistan. There's a salsa congress in Uzbekistan. And...
actually, my friend, he did some congress. Actually, I used to dance with him tango too, and salsa. Salsa was hobby for me always. I was just, I really like it, but I choose tango. So, and yes, in that culture, I don't know, it's a lot of respect where I cannot find in any other countries.
I find it fascinating that one of the reasons I ask about the Muslim culture in Uzbekistan is that I traveled in a lot of Muslim countries, and I noticed that tango was actually quite popular. Certainly, maybe not in all of them, but when I was in Turkey years ago, now Turkey is Muslim, but soft Muslim, right? It's very, very relaxed. But tango was huge. Tango was by far the most popular dance. And this was before salsa or zouk. Now zouk is popular, salsa, kizomba, all these things. When you were growing, but did you grow up in a Muslim household yourself?
Actually, not so much, because for that moment in Uzbekistan was, like 50-50 Uzbek and Russian people, maybe 50-50%. So actually, I don't know, maybe I can say 50-50.
Ballroom, what was the main difference?
Sorry, I didn't hear you because the picture stuck.
Sorry.
Can you repeat it?
Hopefully I didn't look too funny while the picture was stuck.
No, that was that was nice.
So when you were told when you were 16 that you couldn't keep on doing both ballet and ballroom, what was the reasoning behind that they gave you? Was it that you needed to develop certain muscles or flexibility for one that the other did not entail? Or was it just too much work? What did they tell you?
Actually, I had something very serious with my knees. You know, like old people only have them. And doctor was surprised in that, and he said like that we were watching the structure for ballroom and for ballet, and so he suggested me to, if I want to have a career, you know, and I want to dance, so better to pick ballet because there is more muscles in a good tone, and you know you can pay attention more for that, more carefully than in ballroom, because you know ballet is a professional, and ballroom, yes, I had a teacher, but you know it was a lot of us, so he didn't pay attention like only to me, to that little things that could help me. So, and yeah, that was the reason why I chose the ballet. So doctor suggested.
If you had a daughter and she was 16 and she right now kind of came along that same crossroads of picking ballet or ballroom, do you think there would have been a way to like, are there techniques now to strengthen or to create flexibility that maybe would have allowed you to continue?
You know, what I'm thinking now is that we did the right choice. And I liked it, but there is many years missing, you know, that I didn't respect that choice many years. I didn't want to allow that, you know, that ideas that I'm dancing ballet to my body, you know, to open. And like, it was kind of decision of my mom, kind of, but now I'm very thankful to her that she asked me to stay in ballet more, you know.
One of the interesting things about the ballroom culture to me, and I'll preface this by saying I've been teaching, you know, sort of more traditional non-ballroom salsa for about 20 years. And I've taught a lot of Russian ballroom dancers and ballet dancers. And very often there is, it's difficult, kind of like what you were describing with that first class where they were saying embellish less. Explaining the why and the how of the organic dance forms, the partner dance forms versus the dance sport of ballroom. And I have so much respect for ballroom, right? So many of my peers train in ballroom to help enhance lines, to help enhance, you know, flexibility and stage presence and all these things. But it's so different, especially when you're trying to explain to someone who comes from that traditional Eastern background of either ballroom or ballet, why these dances are cool and what makes them so relevant. And obviously you could talk about this for hours, but in an abbreviated form, in a short form, how would you best explain to someone that dances ballroom what qualitatively tango gives you? Like, what's the value of tango? Why
freedom.
is it so cool? Yeah.
It is freedom. For me, first thing that I thought, even in that class that I was talking about earlier, it's freedom, because I found that, yes, I respect, you know, what was in tango, in background tango as a history. I respect it, but I found my way to, you know, to express myself, and that gave me feeling of freedom, and it's very important for me, because even in ballet, when you dance ballet, you have a like specific structure that you have to follow. And if you are not like a crazy, very like crazy about ballet or ballroom, so you will not continue with it. So that happened with me, that I wasn't so crazy about ballet. Yes, I used to dance ballet, that's fun. And now still I'm taking ballet class. I found actually, you know, there is another funny story about ballet, so maybe I will tell you later. But yes, that's important to feel that in this kind of dance, what you choose, you feel wonderful, free, and you can express yourself.
Aesthetically, when you're dancing tango and you come from a background of ballet and ballroom, how different is just the basic frame? Because when you show, if you show a famous salsa dancer, but a social salsa dancer, you know, someone like Eddie Torres or someone, you know, Frankie Martinez, right? You show a video of them to a ballroom dancer or ballet dancer. Often one of the things that they'll say is, well, look at their posture. It's not the ballroom posture that they spent thousands of hours getting, right? They had to work so hard to be able to look good from any angle, whereas these partner dances are more about the person. How do you articulate the posture that, what did you take away from ballroom and ballet that helps your tango, and what was hard to, what was the opposite? What was not good from those that you had to fight?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So because, you know, I came to ballet from ballroom, I had like a huge problem with my posture because my back was, you know, at this position. That was difficult for me to be more straight, you know, and I spent many years to work more with my core, you know. I always, my teacher actually, she taught me, you know, on my core, and I remember this, she had very long, sharp nails, you know, very sharp, and each time when I was, you know, when I was opening my core, she came to me and she's like, it was like Freddy Krueger. It was like a bad dream. Oh my goodness, it was like a bad dream. Yes, I had a hard time to change my posture from ballroom to ballet.
Would you mind if you, I don't know if you have a space, but I'd love to just, if you could even turn sideways, I would love to see those differences, because honestly, they help me a lot. The next time I'm teaching a ballroom person, you know, so.
Yeah, let me try. I can stand up, but so.
Perfect.
It's okay. So let me just turn the computer so that you'll follow me. So usually when you dance ballroom, you're a little bit more like this, in this position. Yes, you are opening your core and you're trying to expand more, you know, and stretch to the arm, back, so to the leg. So it's kind of like an arch. You're creating arch. But in ballet, so everything that in this position you have to put in and you have to stretch it up. You know, so instead of this, you have to close and bring everything up. You know, you got it? So
yeah, I do. Now, so the ballroom side of it, certainly you got that arch that almost feels to me like your rib cage is more presenting upward or diagonally upward, right? Versus
up to diagonal.
Because there's so much discussion of like rib cage closed, rib cage open. So when that ballet form, was that more like tango? How does that relate to tango?
Let me go back to my comfortable position. So actually, yes, listen. For me, I'm very happy that I started with ballroom, then ballet, then tango, because for me it was like evolution. So I'll show you on my hand. So I used to dance like this, ballroom, yeah? Then I used to dance ballet like this, and now I'm dancing tango like this.
So you understand? Further back to further forward. Interesting.
Exactly. But what was kind of the same for me, if I will connect ballroom and tango, you use the idea to bring your chest up to diagonal. When you dance ballroom, you just, you know, you are independent. Yes, you are not connecting to your partner. You connect to the audience. But when you dance tango, you connect to your partner, no matter where he is. So on the right side, on the left, in front of you, on the back, you know, behind you. So you're always trying to search with your upper body, his upper body. Yes, upper body of your partner. And what's what the connection between two of them? That you try to bring your upper body up to diagonal. So it's not just chest, it's core and whole upper body up to diagonal, because there is some technique that, so I'm continuing, yeah? That, for example, in ballet and tango, now I'm comparing this, what was difficult for me. When you are in ballet, you have to stretch from your tippy toe to your head, you know, like like one string, yes? And like a one piece. But in tango, we have ideas to be grounded and to be light at the same time. You know what I mean? So we are working with isolation. So we're trying to isolate from our back. So imagine that is back, upper body goes up and lower body goes down, but upper body goes not just up, upper body goes up to diagonal. In this case, we are, you know, we can connect with our partner. So we are working with the same diagonal, but in a different way. So before in ballroom, it was more like an arch. In ballet, it's like a straight line. And now we are using diagonal, you know? So, and it was like evolution.
Tango is fascinating to me on from a lot of perspectives. Many times in my dancing career, whether I was practicing whatever the form that I was practicing, I would remember Argentine tango lessons that I'd taken, and often there's verbiage and there's sort of an approach to science that is it seems sometimes hyperbolic for other dance forms, you know. So, I remember years ago I was giving, I'm going to name drop here totally, but I was giving a salsa class, a private lesson, to this guy named Pablo Verón, who was a tango, and he was in town and he wanted a salsa lesson, and he heard that I could teach salsa, right? So, and I remember watching him take in the lesson and trying to figure out how his body worked. And one of the things that he talked about a lot was this center point, like an axis point that he felt was much more fine-tuned in tango. That it was almost like he was talking about like a thin laser beam down the center of the body as a very, very, very thin axis point, as opposed to, like, if you think of salsa, well, your axis is basically the center of your head and you turn around that. But he was articulating this as like really minute movement. And yeah, it took me years to even understand what the hell he was talking about at all. How do you approach that visualization of your center?
Yeah, I will agree with him. That, you know why? Because each time, and I took it from ballet, that part, and I put it in my, you know, like from my torso, for my torso, you know, from when you do some kind of pirouettes in ballet, you have to think that someone is holding your hair, you know, not only your head, you know, like a center, like a thing in your hair, you know. So if you will touch your hair and you will bring yourself up, and it's very easy to understand. Yeah. So, and then you can direct yourself where you want to be. Do you want to be with a partner and to touch him gently? Just bring yourself towards your partner, but in the direction what you choose, up to diagonal. You know, so in this case, I will agree with you. And also, he was a tap dancer too, I guess, because he's dancing wonderful. That, you know, that's like, wow, amazing.
He's a good tap.
So yes, and I think, I don't know his history, and I don't know his background, what he did before, but I'm very sure that he used to dance folkloric dance too. You know, if you had some experience, like to mix it, like ballroom, ballet, and tango. In my case, some people were dancing, you know, maybe folkloric and something else, and they mixed, and you can see that people were dancing not only tango. And I think that this can bring you something unique, you know, some maybe unique style.
Tell me a little bit about some of the cultural idiosyncrasies of the tango industry, in particular, Argentine tango, right? You've got, for those people, for dancers who have no idea about this, from what I understand, I've heard words like you've got a milonga. I don't know what that is, but I know you guys have it. You guys have something called a cabeceo, like a head nod or a way to ask. That's fucking confusing to me. So I want you to explain that, right? You've got these sets where you dance a series of songs. That's unique in tango. Talk me through some of, because you have seen salsa, you've seen other dance forms, right? Talk me a little bit through what are some of the unique things just about the way the tango culture works, not even the dance form.
Yeah, so I'll start with this códigos. Yes, it's like kind of rules that they still have this in Argentina, but not so much here. You know, it's more like in traditional milongas where some people, you know, like for example, some people can be with wife or husband. They can come if they want. They can sit together. But if they don't want to sit together, they want to dance only with each other. So they are apart. So men sitting on the left, girls sitting on the right, and it's very unique. And you know, and nobody will force you to dance with, you know, with that person. So you choose, and I think it's very nice if you came to Milonga alone and you want to dance. So you can see people, you can see men like leaders, you know, who is in front of me, which in different countries, I never saw this. Only in Argentina, but maybe some countries have some traditional milongas where still people are sitting apart, so leaders and followers.
So still in Argentina, you've got that where you've got men sit on one side, women sit on the other?
Yes, there is a milonga. I think it's El Beso.
Okay.
The name, okay. So now I move very gradually to milonga. What is a milonga? What is a salsa place? So when you go down salsa, how you call it? Salsa?
We're going out tonight.
You're going out tonight. So we call it, we go to milonga. You know, and actually there is we have two meanings of this word. So milonga is like a tango party, you know, tango party. You go dance tango. So, and we call it milonga. Milonga is a place where people are dancing, like a party.
It can be anywhere, just any.
Yes, any country you will go, you type word milonga in search, so they will show you a place where people are dancing, not just classes. It's a place where people are going out. Actually, yeah, how you salsa. Then what was your question? So I lost my thought.
So then you go to milonga, and then there's this. So you said
I said that there is two meanings of this word. The second, it's a type of dance, you know. So like we have a tango valse, tango milonga, and tango. You know, like
tango waltz in threes. Sorry to keep on interrupting you. Just each thing you say, it brings up a new point. When you say tango waltz, tango milonga, are these actually you're dancing to a 3 or a 6 versus a 4? The waltz,
depends.
Okay. So would you go on?
Go.
So when you say waltz, because I've heard that, are they dancing to a count that's in 3, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? When it's waltz?
No, this is a very unique waltz. So for me specific, when I dance tango waltz, there is some specific steps, but it can be the same step that you dance in tango or in milonga. It can be absolutely the same. Like if you know just the basic, for example, I'll just say if you're familiar with this, cross, ocho cortado, and backward ocho and giros. If you know this, you already can dance any idea in tango, in milonga, and in waltz. So, and it doesn't have to be on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, this is the very, like, you can choose, for me, you can choose any rhythm that you will find in the music. But of course, music will call you to do something, you know, look, because it can be continuation on 6, 8, you know, or you want to continue 18, 16, you know, 12, like counts, it's up to you. So, and also it depends which sequence you choose to dance. But you are improvising, you know, when you dance to milonga, you dance with another person, you dance not only with your partner, And this is a very nice, I think, idea to keep working with improvisation.
Tell me about this. Tell me about the cabeceo, about the whole how you ask someone to dance, because it's so different in tango than other dances.
Yes, it is. Um, I really do like this idea about cabeceo. Cabeceo, it's invitation without asking. Yes, like inviting, like, hey, let's go, or like just give me your hands, let's dance it. Yeah, it is very very nice way. Sometimes if you don't want to dance with a partner, so you can just turn your head away from him and he will not ask you again. So as I said before, no one will force you to dance with. And so what you do basically with cabeceo, only leaders, I mean, if you're in the right milonga, in a very traditional milonga, you will not see that girls inviting guys. Never. Only guys inviting girls. So they are like it have to be minimum maybe 2-3 meters, you know, between you. If you will come too close to your to lady, if you don't know her, if it's your friend, it's okay. So you know, especially here in America, if it's your friend, it's absolutely fine, you know. So hey, let's dance, so let's have fun, cha cha cha, and so. But there you have to have a space between you, because if lady will say, like, will turn her head away, the guy, you know, he will be okay just to imagine and, you know, like turn around and like he never did that cabeceo.
Okay, so wait a second. So it's kind of like swiping left or right on Tinder. It's sort of like it's a distanced way of asking something.
Exactly. And
how do you do it? So you walk up to the girl and you like nod your head at her, or what do you?
You stay in the corner or somewhere, you know, like away from the partner with whom you dance. You find the eye contact, you know. So like I'm looking at you, and you just did it. It's funny, yes. And if you really want to dance with that partner, I mean, I'm a follower now. If you'll do. So he's coming to you and he gives you his hand and you are going to dance, you know, to dance floor. If the lady, she does this, so nothing happened, you know, he will find another person with whom to dance. There is always, you know, more girls than guys in the milonga.
So are there any like awkward moments where you like move your head and then she tries to toss her hair out of the way, but you think she's saying no, and then she looks at you? It seems incredibly complicated versus just going, hey, do you want to dance?
No, you know, when this ideas of this rules is clear, so it is not confusing. But of course, for new people, it is like maybe some of them. I'm very sure that 60% of people who is dancing now, they don't know this rules, because maybe teachers are not explaining these ideas in schools, but I think they should. You can avoid uncomfortable situation, you know, especially if you don't want to dance with, you really don't want to dance with that guy, and he's coming to you and he's like, hey, let's go dance. You say like, no, what should you say? You know, like that's why it's more very gentle way to say no or to say yes when you are inviting your partner to dance.
From that perspective, I like it. That's actually that does, because there are a lot of social difficulties in the world of salsa or bachata where people are constantly talking about, well, how do I say no? If I don't want to dance with someone? I know a lot of follows that are very, very picky about who they dance with. They don't want to hurt feelings, but so it sounds like a softer way of kind of approaching that whole.
Exactly.
When the couple times that I, as a salsa hotshot, that I decided I wanted to go out to, you know, to try my luck at tango. They actually told me that maybe this is a Seattle thing, but they told me that the girls would dictate the whole thing. The follows would. This was years ago too. Now in Seattle, like there's no gendering. Like we don't, in Seattle for dance classes, it's pretty normal to just say leads and follows. You'll have a ton of guys following. Even for salsa or bachata, you'll have a ton of girls leading. Is that typical in tango? Do a lot of girls lead? Do a lot of guys follow?
For now, yes. For now, yes. And as I said, even in Argentina, everyone follow and lead, you know, almost everyone. They can follow and then can lead, but still some of them, even for example, I really love to lead my students, my friends, you know, at the Milonga as a leader. If I'm not in the mood to follow, yeah, so I'm changing my shoes and I'm leading. And yeah, it's like, but here are more common that, you know, people are dancing with each other. It doesn't matter follower or, you know, or you follow or you lead. Yeah, so especially in America. For example, in Uzbekistan, there is a small community and there is like only followers and leaders. Like ladies have to follow, leaders have to lead, you know. There is some place. But most of the time you can see that everyone can follow and everyone can lead.
Let's talk about that expectation. What is the expectation when you nod your head back to someone, right? And they gave you the right look and you gave them the right look back. I'm going to practice that one after this whole meeting. I'm just going to go look in the mirror and practice my head nod to see, because I'm just afraid that I'll like do a head nod trying to get my hair to the side, and like someone that I didn't want to dance with is gonna be, I don't know. But
no, you can imagine that you just did, oh, something happened with my hair, you know.
This is a complex society. So let's talk about the expectation once you're dancing. Are you dancing one song? Are you dancing several songs?
Okay, we have a tandas. Tandas is like you dance 3 songs, 4 songs, 3 or 4. So most of the time, tango is about 4 songs, and between that 4 songs, we have a little cortinas, just, you know, to open embrace and to breathe a little bit and to relax a little bit and to chat. Yeah. And in Vals and in Milonga, always is just a 3. And some DJ, it's actually preference of DJ. So if DJ really likes some Milongas, it's a fast dance, yes. He can play 4 songs.
Within those.
Sorry. I said wrong thing. So we have a tandas, and there is a 3 or 4 songs without breaking. So like a 1 song, then another, then a third one, and then cortina. And cortina, you can change partner, or you can stay with the same partner if you would like to dance second tandem. That is.
So you've got a couple dances in a row where you're dancing, and then
a
little interlude where they play some Janis Joplin or something.
Yeah, whatever they want. Yeah.
Whatever they want, or some Michael Jackson or something, and then
exactly.
I really like that. I mean, I think in the salsa, bachata, zouk worlds, there's less time to just talk with people.
Yeah.
People don't get to know each other as much. One of the interesting things about that 3 song, the multiple song dance, on the pro side of it, it really obviously enhances your connection with that partner, because you have multiple songs to kind of get to know them, to get to know their reactions, and hopefully you build up towards a really magical, you know, desired mental state and spiritual state by the end of that 3rd or 4th song. One of the cons that we've seen in other dance industries is that it limits the amount of beginners that can come into the dance, and it makes the overall dance form have fewer people. That's essentially what it seems to water down to. And we've noticed that in other dance styles where they go towards this 3-song thing, that it makes it harder for beginners to get a dance often. What's the learning curve you feel in tango between taking your first class and being able to go out and social dance it? Is it, to me, it seems like a year before you can.
No. So you are talking, but there is no voice. I think there was delaying with the video. So, but I will answer. I always ask my my students to go out and dance. maybe they can go out dancing with the same guys who is in the group when they take group classes, like for example for beginners. In New York we do have a practica, like a class for beginners and then practica, so that these beginners can stay there, they can practice, or they can ask, you know, other people who's a little bit more advanced to show them or to practice with them, you know, like a 1-2 songs, it depends, you know. I have a few students who is like were beginners and they were taking beginner class, and she took every week like my women's technique, then she went to practica, she was practicing. Sometimes you can sit whole night and maybe no one can dance with you, will dance with you because you're a beginner. And but it's good, you know, to be in that area and to feel it, what people do, how they dance, what the kind of music they play, you know. And with the time, the more you go out, the more people see you, the more they invite you. So you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to afraid to dance. And also I have a students and very good of my friends, you know, like they take classes like, I don't know, 5 years, and they still afraid to go to Milonga. And they say like, we're not ready yet, we're not ready. If you will not go there, if you will not see it, if you will not try it, so you never will be ready, you know. So that's why I always say you have to get the mileage for your feet.
It's such a different, it is a really different culture though, again, because it's kind of like tango is sort of like your goal is to climb Mount Everest. So you sit at the base of Mount Everest for a while till you know, get the skills and courage to start climbing. Whereas other dance forms, you can just sort of dive in and walk up the hill, if that makes sense. Do you feel that there is, just from a business industry perspective, is there are there enough new people coming into it? Obviously now it's might be difficult, but are there enough beginners coming into it to support a teacher like yourself?
You know, once, like a few years ago, we tried to organize group for beginners. Many people came, but not so many people stay in tango now, you know, from that class. Maybe 1 or 2 person they do, and they really do like it, and they take classes like a crazy, and like they already dance very well. But of course, you know, from 20 people, maybe you will get only 1. It's always like this. And I don't see a lot of, you know, like a beginners now. I don't know where they are. I cannot hear you.
There. Let's talk about, oh, wait a second. Can you?
What you were saying this 30 seconds, I didn't hear, sorry.
Yeah, our internet here in Seattle, I think tons of people are on Zoom, Facebook, and etc. So the internet. It seems like it's a tough, like teaching tango, you have to be really, really dedicated and in love with the art because you don't have as many people coming into it. You got like salsa, you can put up a salsa sign and 40 people show up and you teach them to hold hands and then they go out dancing. But tango, it's a lot harder to get people invested in it. What are some things that you think could help the industry to bring in more beginners and make it more accessible?
Oh, so let me answer like this. So for now I'm watching on this like a teacher with a background, like with a ballet background, where I had a structure and I know how to teach. And I saw many teachers who were teaching me, and I know for myself how I want to teach my teachers. And let me say like this, how I want to treat my students, you know, because like some teachers were very good, some teachers were so, some teachers, they didn't care about us, you know, when I was in the school. And this was like a big example for me. What should I do now if I'm continue teaching? And first of all, to involve people to dance tango, to bring more beginners, you have to be good teacher. if you are talking about like to get more students. And of course, it's a personality of each of them, you know. So if they really like to dance, if they're really interesting to try, some of them, you know, it didn't happen, but I will try it again. They will fight, you know, till the moment that it will happen, and then they will be very happy. So yeah, like it's about teacher, the personality and the structure. If a teacher has a personality, structure, and the way to explain, you know that all students are different, and you have to find that way to explain to all of them same thing, but in a different way to each of them, you know. And this is very difficult, and not many teachers can do that.
Is that we lost you for a second there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good.
I was so emotional.
You were just shining, and then the internet went out. I know. Well,
Oh.
thanks for keeping on moving while you were silent. So, do people dance? The music is very. It's all tango, right? The times when I've gone out dancing tango, are there milongas? And that's different from other dance forms, because like in salsa, certainly bachata, certainly in zouk, kizomba, urban kiz, west coast swing, Lindy hop, right? A lot of these forms you kind of dance to a wide variety of music. You know, there's a lot of tango,
Yeah.
seems like it's very specific. I know that there's nouveau or fusion tango, but in regular milonga, say you go to a milonga in New York, do they sometimes play a pop, like a Justin Bieber tune, or
You know what? We have there is only one milonga that I know where there is two rooms, and they have like a nuevo way, nueva room and traditional room. No, actually two milongas, nocturne and tango cafe. They have a two room, so in one room they play whatever they want, like I don't know, like some rock and roll or like whatever. And in some tango, because it's traditional, and of course more people, most of, you know, there in that room. And some people, if there is no so much space, they go to Nueva Milonga. If they really like to dance more free, you know, to open embrace, to kick their legs, to bring, you know, to do batmans, they go to Nueva room. And yes, you can dance whatever they play. It can be bachata maybe too sometimes.
I love the fact that tango has, I love a couple things about tango. One, I like the fact that it's a moving dance. It's a circular, you know, that creates like a particular dynamic that's different from staying in place. And it creates a whole set of difficulties, because you have to be good at managing that,
Oh yeah.
that flow. When you're dancing tango, talk to me a little bit about that freedom. And I'll preface that to make it more specific, right? The freedom, say you're dancing salsa. Usually, if I go forward, back, you go forward, back, right? Like we match our feet and stuff. Tango seems a little bit mysterious in terms of where does the follow have autonomy and freedom, and how is that communicated? Am I back?
Now, yes. No.
What about now? There we go. I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, so man,
So let's do this. Let's do this. Next time, if it happens once again, let's dance it.
that is going to be challenging, but challenge accepted. I'm going to give it my best. So tell me about the autonomy. When as a tango follow do you have autonomy and freedom, and when are you being micromanaged, like they put your foot there and your foot has to go there?
Okay, so in tango, same as in a salsa, some things are like we are dancing like a mural. Yeah, and of course there is some ideas that your partner can lead, and like for example, hero when followers go around the leader. Yes, so so basically leader does nothing. You know, he just invites lady to go around. Maybe he does fancy things with his feet, and she goes around. This is like a signal. The freedom is about signals. So if both dancers are experienced, so there is no problem for them to find that freedom. She can do something else on the way when he is inviting her to do something. When you are beginner, of course, you're like a mirror. You do basic things first. And what's important for beginners is to understand what to do if in front of you next couple. So he needs to have in his mind, you know, in his head, few ideas what he will do if there is someone, if there is place not to go. That's why we have some different variety or different ideas that they can lead us, you know, and they can play with this till the moment when they will feel that there is a space to go, you know.
So it's sort of like NASCAR. They're all racing around a track, but occasionally there's a crash and you kind of have to slow down and stop.
You slow down and maybe you do something. There is some movements that you can do on one spot. There is some movements that you are doing while you're traveling, you know. There is some movements where you're traveling and then you are static, more doing the same thing on the same spot. You can slow down, you can stop, you can continue, you speed up, you know. There is many ideas when you're more experienced, you know.
Does the
Yeah.
follow sometimes lead the lead?
This is a very good idea, you know. What I found like maybe 5-6 years ago, I was like, we were with my partner, we were working on the idea that to overlead. You know, we I think we have somewhere like on YouTube the videos. The class was about overleading, you know, that, but there is always invitation, like your partner with whom you dance, leader, he's inviting you, but you take that initiation and you can reverse or redirect that idea what he's inviting you to do. It's for me it's more dialogue. It's not like, you know, that's like overleading so much.
This is a really unique part about tango because, like you said, when the follow goes around the lead and the lead stays there. Here we go. You're back in. Nice.
Yay.
So did you hear what I was saying there?
No, absolutely.
Just basically,
no.
when the follow goes around the lead, it almost looks like the follow is giving the lead energy and momentum to turn. It's almost like the follow is providing that power.
Energy and space.
Those seem to be two important factors in tango: energy and space.
For me, yes. Yeah. Because with the time I found my my technique that I built with the years, you know, and there is very clear idea for me what I should do as a leader in some moments that we are dancing. If we are walking, I have to do this or that, you know, some very straight ideas. If I'm pivoting, I'm talking about the space and energy, yes. And of course, it's a body movement. You have to find a way to pay attention for little moments. So, for example, when I'm dancing, when I do some kind of embellishments, I focus on the flow movement. And my favorite embellishments when I'm isolating my foot from my leg, and when I, you know, paint with my foot, kind of, yeah. So, and you really need to find a way how you can do that. It's not just you take your foot and you're doing the circle. You have to isolate, and how to isolate, which part of the body I have to relax or I have to put more tension. You know, it's for me, I have a structure that I teach my students, and like it's very clear ideas.
Talk to me about tension and flight, or energy and flight, because this seems fascinating in tango. There seems, you go back and forth between positive, what I call positive connection, where there's pressure inward. Do you go to where there's pressure outward, where you're pulling away from each other as well?
Of course. And in this case, so we are talking about close embrace and open embrace. But
okay.
we because I take it on my way, the way that I'm dancing. So we have close embrace and we have open embrace. So when we dance in close embrace, we trying to send our center towards each other, like I said before, up to diagonal, kind of like this position. It's invisible ideas, yes? This is the energy, and this is the body. This is my body and body of my partner, and this is our energy, what we should do. So I always think that I will send my body here in my mind through his body. Yes, that's just mental here. When we dance in open embrace, we create in centrifugal, a little bit centrifugal form in movement inside of our couple. But in the same time, there is also some ideas and some technique how to do this. So at the same time, when you are in open embrace, you have to give the center to your partner and your back to your partner. So you kind of spread your back. So you move your core towards your partner and you move your back away from your partner. In this case, so he receives in his palm some of your energy that helps him to give the energy and to make more clear next idea what he leads. Did you hear me?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. Because you're getting stuck and I was about to dance.
Нет, я могу, я слышу.
I can hear you, but you're stuck.
Let me see if I can unstick myself. The internet is stormy today.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, we'll be back.
Awesome. We can see each other again. We just have a couple more minutes, Kalganova. I want to, are you teaching classes online right now during this period of the virus?
Yes, actually, you know, because I was focusing on the idea tango, but I will talk about this a little bit, okay? So I was working on tango bar since I started tango, because my first partner was a ballet bar, yeah, and I was dancing with that bar with a wall, with a mirror, so but not a live partner was for me, and I was practicing a lot of improvisation for my feet, yeah. And that idea, like I was working, like I was 10 years. I was building that structure 10 years. Plus I had the ballet background. And like 2 years, I decided to teach tango bar class. But because I was traveling around the world, you know, like so much, I didn't have time to do it like only in New York, for example, because like a week I'm here, a week I'm there, 4 days here, 4 days there, you know. Like, and it was very difficult for me. And finally this year I decided to do tango bar class. I organized tango bar class, and then there is a quarantine. And what do you think? It you know, it gives me to the idea to teach this tango bar online class, and it's pretty much popular. So what we are doing on that tango bar class, I'm teaching every Sunday 45 minutes tango bar. That's enough for girls, and they had a combination that I'm creating, and I'm explaining like a little details very gradually. So I'm build my class from simple things to difficult things, and then they have a combination that they can practice, and then I explain them where they can use this embellishment, because it's, you know, and also we are working on a ballet structure, you know, ballet base and tango base, we are mixing it. So that makes them, you know, feel that their leg can be stronger, you know, they can work more their feet, and I give some exercise for warm up. So yes, I do this. And also because, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you will understand me. When you are alone, you know, at home, when you're like, you kind of a little bit, when you, can you hear me? Can you hear me? What about now? What about now? What about now? What about now?
Now you're back.
Can you hear me?
Awesome.
I see. So, and when you are at home, when you don't go to the gym, you know, where other people maybe motivate you to to exercise, yes. But at home you're so lazy, and not all the time you want to do that exercise. You go to bed and you say like, okay, tomorrow morning I'll do that exercises. You wake up at the morning, so like, forget about it. So what I decided to do is every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm doing stretching, kind of stretching class, and just stretching for myself live on Instagram every Tuesday and Thursday. So during this quarantine. And of course, I give to people like some people are following, some people are joining, and they are doing that exercise because it helps them to, to work with their body, with their feet.
Very cool. Do you feel supported by your community right now during this time?
Absolutely. And also, because we don't have Milongas now, we cannot go out. We have a Jersey community, I know them like 5-6 years. I know that's not 20 years, but 5-6 years is also not 2 months, And we go like not every Saturday I join that meeting, but I try. So sometimes we're just seeing each other, we're just talking, chatting, and also my friends who is organizing Milongas, they have a podcast, and people can join it's kind of like a virtual Milonga where we are talking, laughing, like we don't lose the connection between each other, and that we stay connected. And also new people can join and they can ask any questions, what they interested in. And especially now it's a lot of, like a free classes that they can take, and it's very good for them because it's time to, to improve while this quarantine.
Definitely. Kalganova, have you ever danced with any urban Kiz or Kizomba dancers?
Oh, I used to dance with my partner. He also used to dance tango for that moment when we just started when I was 19. Actually, who organized that? I think that Congress he organized. His name Dmitry. I don't know if it will tell you something. So only with him. No.
Because, have you watched any of the Instagram urban Kiz dancers?
I love it. Yes. I mean, I don't know their names, but I really like the music. Oh my goodness.
The music is super cool, and like I feel Kizomba and Tango, they have some commonalities, but I feel like urban Kiz and Tango even have more commonalities because of the constant change in position, and the lines is unique. They're not traveling dances, but every time I watch urban Kiz, I just think, a professional tango dancer would at least enjoy it. They'd be able to do it because they'd understand.
I didn't have a chance to dance with many partner who does that. I took few classes of what did you say? Where you dance salsa, kizomba,
urban Kiz.
No, what else? What else? No, swing.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him. He lives here in New York. His name's Thibault.
Okay.
So, and I think he's like many people knows him here. Oh my goodness, I really loved it. I don't know what he did, but when he led me, I understood everything, every moment. Like, but with my partner, it was so difficult because like I couldn't understand him. So like, what are you doing here? So he leaves me so clear. What are you doing? So I can, what a good thing that I can follow everything, And if you want, I can tell you a funny story, like a very quick. So I was in Greece. I have a friend who lives there. So, and I said like, let's go salsa. She said, yeah, no problem, let's do it. So because they dance salsa, tango, because it's a hobby for them. We went to salsa place, and it was like I never saw something like that. I thought that almost all people who were there were professionals, or at least they were born, dancing salsa. I really loved it, but no one wanted to dance with me. You know, I was just sitting, and I was actually, because I'm tango dancer, I was expecting, you know, cabeceo, you know. So, but and I was, you know, with a company with my friends. So basically, we were there maybe 2 hours, and no one danced. Sorry, my kid is crying. Daddy is with him. That's fine. So, and no one wanted to dance with me, and I was so sad, you know. So like, okay, let's go from this place. But people were dancing so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I was so jealous. I want to dance, but music was so good, but no one danced. And it's like, okay, so let's. Can you wait for me here? So sit. I'll come back in 5 minutes. What I did, I went to the dance floor. I waited till that song was finished, and I was just waiting, you know, like a. And there was one muchacho, I don't know, like he was, I think he was 70 years old, but he was in a perfect shape, you know, like everything was there. And he came to me, it's like, let's go. I said, yeah, I'm gonna dance tonight. I was so happy. And then he said, oh, he didn't ask me. He showed me. You know what I will show you. So what I mean. What do you think? What does it mean?
So he was asking you, yeah, it makes total sense. This is the
On
salsa
one or on
on one or
two?
on two, right? Which,
Yes.
yeah, totally.
And the funny story that I was so confident that I can dance whatever, you know, just lead me and I will do everything. Oh my goodness.
And you said two.
I said whatever, you
You
know,
said
whatever
three.
you want. No, I said whatever you want, you know. So like I didn't choose. I used to dance only on one. I never tried on two or on three. On two was so difficult for me because, you know, my body memory only 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's like it's stuck in my mind, and I couldn't like let it go. That idea. So he tried to lead me on two, and each time when he led me on two, I did on one. And it was so, oh my god, it was mess, like a half a song, and then he said like, okay, let's do on one. So when we finished that song on one, then we finished that song, but it was cool. And we finished, and another guy, he just grabbed me, you know, grabbed my hand. He's like, pulled me. It's like, hey, let's dance. So I was dancing. So that night, I went very happy from that salsa.
Opa.
Opa. You know, and it means if you really want to dance, go and catch your partner. You stuck.
Hang on, can you hear me? She still can't. No. No.
Oh, yes, now,
Okay,
yes.
I was just saying I appreciate you taking the time to do this this discussion online. I feel like I've been educated a little bit in the ways of tango. As soon as we get back to dancing here in Seattle, I'm gonna try to make the cabeceo a salsa thing and see how it flies. I don't think it'll go well, but we'll see how it goes. I hope people take your online classes. Your dancing is really wonderful. I watched a lot of your videos, and I believe that you've probably got a really solid teaching ability because you come from all these different backgrounds, and it's just been really fun. If people want to find you online, where would they go to?
They can go to my website, tangoflow.club, or they can, you know, find me on Facebook. They can message me, or they can find me on Instagram, Eleonora Kalganova, and they can message me. Well, like I always answer to my students.
Очень хорошо, спасибо большое. It's been wonderful. До свидания. Пока.
Пока-пока.
Fantastic. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.